Thank you guys for joining us. Your boy Quick Kill here. Clicky will be with us in just a minute. We see bands coming in for the first of UJ's League of Legends game of the season so far. Looks like we're gonna end up banning Aurelian Soul, Gnar, and Samara. Well, they have banned the Alistar and the Hecarim. So really focusing out here on and we have a DC. So it's like there's a chance that we'll have to go back into the banning phase. We'll see how it works here. It's like they're having quite a bit of issues. So we're gonna wait, and hopefully once we get back in, we'll re-go over bans as they messed up. And just like that, they figured it out. So you see the Gnar ban coming in again. I'd be surprised if UJ changes their bans based off anything. Hecarim comes in with the ban. On the other side, Aurelian Soul yet again. Most likely going to see... Oh, an Udyr ban. That did change. Banning out Deer XP in our jungle. Samira ban coming out for UJ. The Alawi ban, they do not want to see run it down mid in that top lane with Alawi. So he'll instantly pick up his Irelia. Pretty good pick and a really strong pick as it's one of his favorites. Urgot coming out for the enemy team here. It'll be interesting because if he gets tanky, he's big boy. Ari running the mid lane. Looks like a Numu is probably going to be our jungler with Orianna in mid. Kind of like those picks here. Jhin coming out for the ADC. Banning Mordekaiser, so yet again trying to ban out that top lane. Or possibly jungle if they got creative. And the Trundle coming out from the ban from UJ. No Troll Boy this time. And a Shen ban coming out here. So we will not be seeing a Shen for UJ. And a Zed ban is the last ban of the day. They're going to go ahead and pick up Kayn right off the bat, and we will lock the Ezreal and Thresh while they pick up the Alistar. Now we'll have a 50 seconds here of letting them choose what they want to run and swap some characters around. It's gonna be pretty interesting seeing the Anumu. I know DRXP practices a lot, plays it in competitive quite a bit and during practices, but you normally didn't see it much last year. You see some new faces on our team as of this upcoming season. You got Insanum, who yesterday had a pop-off Valorant game, which they will have to replay because...
Two days ago.
2 days ago?
Yeah,
well,
Monday.
Either way, they'll have to replay it because they won too hard, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
The other team thought we were cheating, so they're replaying it. By the way, I'm here now. What's good, guys? It's your boy, your favorite caster. It's okay. Clicky.
Will there be video?
There will be.
Yes, there will be.
I swapped it over. You had it on this.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention. My bad.
I got it.
My bad.
Don't even fret. We got this.
The Too Spoiled Cole also had a great night on Valorant on Monday. He'll be rocking the mid lane for us. And the Glockadile making his first ever appearance on the UJ stage.
Mm-hmm. You guys heard him casting a bit last year with me. Some pretty good analysis from him, honestly. I really enjoyed casting with him, so it'll be exciting to finally see him compete for the team.
I agree. This game, I think, is going to be a pretty balanced game overall. Rank-wise, we match up pretty well for the most part. They do have a Platinum 4, but Run It Down mid's up there in his own right. So it'll be kind of a battle up in that top lane.
Oh, their top laner is the
Yeah,
platform.
I believe.
Oh, that's gonna be
both.
really fun to watch.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a really fun matchup, and I really like the Aurelia. Might be biased, but last year the stuff he did on Aurelia was just nasty.
Yeah, like it almost felt like a war crime sometimes. But it's not real war. It's imaginary war, so it's allowed.
It's
What?
it's friendly war.
Yeah, well, sort of friendly war, dependent on the teams.
But yeah, another key point here, I think that's going to be a real good or in a real interesting matchup is this Oriana versus the Ari. Both are very high damage dealers. Oriana doesn't have quite as much movement potential as Ari does, so it'll be a lot more about positioning and where he's set up. And I don't know much about Cole's mid lane game, so I'm excited to see how he does there in the mid lane. Overall, mid lane's a pretty hard lane to control.
Yes.
So he's going to have a lot of different things coming at him with, flanks from the other lanes or the enemy jungler. And Oriana does have decent CC, but if he gets hit with the charm, it could be trouble in that mid lane. So he's got to be a little bit careful.
And he is typically pretty good about playing around stuff like that. So it should be fun to watch.
I agree. I also want to know if this Kayn on the other team here is going to be blue Kayn or red Kayn, because that is always a coin flip. You see a lot of blue Kayns coming out. And blue Kayn's a lot of damage, especially as it comes towards the end of the game in that mid game. But red Kayn's kind of fun too, and you don't see as much of it, so it might be harder to play around. It's like we're gonna start getting into the map here.
So for the people that don't quite know as much about League of Legends, like not me, some of the other people.
Yeah,
what's the difference between blue buff versus a red buff?
Well, blue buff is going to give you essentially a mana regen. So you regen your mana like way faster, so you can cast more abilities, not have to worry about your mana management. You normally see blue buff go to a lot of mages, as more of the melee characters don't necessarily need it.
Yeah, they don't spend mana.
Yep, and then the red buff is going to be mostly healing, and like you get a little bit of attack damage if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But essentially, it just constantly heals you until it's gone. So you can just take a bunch of damage, and you're just constantly healing all the time, which is pretty nice, especially for that early game jungle. Who are we rooting for? We're rooting for UJ.
Easy, UJ. Easy, UJ.
Oh, skins equal wins. So,
that's true.
And Alistar does not have a skin. It's over.
Sheesh.
Imagine playing Alistar and not having a skin. This Thresh skin's looking nice, though. Big fan of the Thresh skin. Looks like we're going to see possibly an early invade here.
This is real interesting.
Getting pretty aggressive with it. Oh, Thresh hits a good hook. Oh, a flash comes out. Oh, both flashes are used.
We take it.
I'm assuming is our threat. Oh, I can't talk. No, he's not running Hex Flash, so that was his real flash burnt. Could potentially be bad, but he did get the flash out of the enemy ADC, so it's not the worst trade in the world. You just got to play a little careful.
Yes.
Kind of scouting each other out, hoping nobody's gonna continue an invade here, but I'd be very surprised to see it. Minions are now just onto the map, so we're gonna see camp spawn here in a couple minutes or a couple seconds, and looks like Anumu's gonna be going for this red one first, which isn't a huge surprise, as it's gonna allow him to heal up while he's farming.
Little Ship asking who's playing the Aurelia. That's going to be Run It Down Mid.
Yep, Run It Down Mid's on the Aurelia.
Sometimes known as Jaggermeister.
Yeah, Yes. He is our Overwatch off-tank player. Well, sometimes main tank player, but mostly off-tank player.
And former Rocket League player.
And Hearthstone.
Yeah, he plays some Hearthstone. He's kind of just...
He's just a gamer.
He's just good. Just the definition of a Sigma male, you know?
Gonna see quite a bit of just farming, kind of feeling each other out, getting some early poke in here, just like most early league games happen. It'll be interesting to see who makes this first move. I would expect it to probably come out of top lane, as the tanks are probably going to play a little bit more aggressive and try and find out how their play styles are. Really good poke coming from the Ezreal. Ezreal's a really interesting champion for us to decide to run. We see the missed hook on the Alistar. Wouldn't have gotten the kill anyways, but would have gotten good damage. So
and would have forced the other team to back up just a little bit.
Yeah, would have had to play a little more passively. Good Orianna orb coming out. Okay, good. We can see what items they have.
Very nice.
Big Jin shot coming out. Gets the stun on Insane him there. Irelia is just going to keep farming this top lane. Is definitely taking a lot more poke from that Urgot. Early game League of Legends. So thrilling.
Truly. The thing about early League...
Oh, a big charm coming out. And that's a lot of damage onto 2 Spoiled. And as I said in the intro screen, that's one thing he's got to look out for, because especially when the jungler does get there, there's a chance he dies.
Oh, he almost always dies. He gets charmed. It's a 1v2.
Yeah, death. Would not look good for him. So hopefully he doesn't. A big stun coming out onto the Urgot.
A lot of damage.
This Irelia is already chunking.
Uh-oh.
He almost goes for the full commit, though, in the shield, and they both decide to kind of back off and respect each other, but that was a pretty intense engagement. And you see Anumu find the enemy jungler here with a level advantage, but Ahri does come down to help.
Spoiled over there, though. Bring it into...
Lots of damage coming out for UJ, but they cannot take a 2v4 here.
Yes.
He's going to go in, though, and collect that first blood. And it looks like they're not even going to make him pay for it, and they're kind of looking for this second kill now.
That's a lot of damage on him. That's... If they realize he's there, that's free.
Oh, and he jumps in. Oh, but the Alistar has a nice headbutt, but will pay with his life. And, you know, UJ's jungler just kind of out-mechanicked there. He had a good follow-up, or a good, follow-up from the rest of his team who peeled for him, but, that initial play was all him. So you love to see that coming out of UJ. Early 2 kills, and, you know, that's especially onto the... was it the ADC that died there? I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially onto the ADC, which means our Ezreal will get quite a bit ahead here in farm. Should see the first buys come out from our side. Orianna kind of getting pushed under tower, but it's not the worst thing, having to play around the charm.
I like chat sometimes.
Chat is very funny. We love chat. A new move farming Rocky Boys. I see some ward clearing out here as the first wards come in, and Scuttles should be here.
And
looks like one Scuttle was already claimed, unless that was maybe just warded. I can't really check.
But I would like to discuss top lane a little bit more. In that first real engagement of the match, we saw both top laners taking quite a bit of damage. And I think that Kansas's top laner thought he could be a little bit more aggressive against UJ's, just because there's that little rank discrepancy. But I think Run It Down Mid showed him that he doesn't get to be as aggressive as he likes, because Run It Down Mid will punish him for that kind of stuff.
I agree. You see the alt investment in that last fight as you were going over it as well. Kind of a very well. Actually, it was not even kind of. It is very
that was
aggressive.
A real aggressive ult.
And takes the tower shot and barely got chunked. And so that should tell the Urgot right there that, oh no, DRXP is on the hunt. He's found the jungler again and run it down mids here as well. Urgot is kind of a chunky boy. This is going to be a closer fight than I think UJ expected, but they will pick up both kills.
Yep. It was closer than UJ expected. It wasn't close.
Yeah, it wasn't as close as it should have been, but
Glockodile does go down, unfortunately.
Yeah,
First pick for Kansas.
The Jhin kind of doing some damage now. Realizing that Jhin, as the game goes on, does get a lot stronger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most of these champions will, but Jhin especially starts hitting very hard coming into this mid game. Orianna and Ahri still just kind of in the mid lane farming, not really worried about each other too much. Which I actually like that, because I think if the Orianna just farms for most of the game and gets her items, she'll be bigger than the Ahri by the end. And especially if Tier XP comes in to help, some good poke coming out there, and Ahri re-engages. Does get the Q, but it's not going to really matter.
DRXP coming to mid just to help Too Spoiled manage the waves a little bit better, because he was pushed almost all the way back to his tower, so he did need a little bit of help there in mid, and that's exactly what DRXP is providing here. Switching up the controlled mid lane basically entirely.
Yeah, that's a very good observation. You also see here that our jungler has an 8 CS lead, but our top lane is actually losing in CS, but still holding their own when it comes to the damage fights, which is where you want to be. So we're seeing a little bit of a difference in the jungle when it comes to that skill gap wise. See if this Kayn can end up getting fed at the end, but we hope that's not the case. Oh, a good hook coming out there. Hook. He decides to go in on it. Oh, when DRXP's there for the follow-up, drops the ult. That is a lot of damage.
2K.
The Ezreal picks up the kill there too, which is massive, because Ezreal get money. We see a top lane hard engage here.
A lot of damage from both sides.
This Irelia does so much damage. Unbelievable. Wonderful.
And he's proven. Yeah. He is the alpha top laner.
Yeah, wonderful fights coming in from UJ. They're engaging at good times. See the pull onto the scuttle there just to make sure that Kansas doesn't get the scuttle while they're taking dragon. I actually like that play quite a bit.
It's real what's the word? Observative?
Obscene?
I am just drawing a blank. Oh, you guys get what I'm saying. He's observing good.
Good observing.
Mini map watch. He think real much.
Brain, many wrinkles. Most wrinkles of brain. Oh my gosh, that Ahri eats that tower shot.
Yeah.
Kind of a misplay there, to be honest.
I don't know. I think it's just exuding Chad energy instead.
Probably.
Saying, I don't need full health.
Alistar coming up, clearing some vision. The Ezreal there, however, he will have to back off. This Ahri's in trouble yet again. DRXP on this Anumu is causing a lot of issues.
Yeah, he's just a menace. Just an absolute menace.
Kayn will pick up blue buff here, which is pretty good for Kayn. Anumu does have the red, probably going to clear blue right now, and so he will have both.
What does that little orb of Two Spoils do?
So it does technically it does three different things, and it's all based off of which ability he presses. So I want to say his E shields a ally.
Okay.
And gives him a little shield for a certain amount of time. The W I want to say is a stun, where it stuns them in place for 2 seconds or something like that. And then the Q is just a little bit extra damage, where it kind of explodes and comes back to her.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, I have only played that champion once. And then her ultimate, I want to say, is some sort of kind of a lockdown area involving her, so it's kind of another stun.
Okay.
She's very strong in team fights.
Yeah, so just to be clear, all of her abilities utilize that little floating orb AoE thing.
Yes.
Correct.
Anal coming out on run it down mid does like almost no damage, but
Yeah,
he
that
still
was
has to run because the Urgot is
pretty.
chasing as well.
That's pretty abysmal.
Yeah,
Was that Kane's ult then?
that was Kane's alt.
Okay.
And that was not necessarily the target you'd want to see a Kane alt on. A big hook coming in here, but Alistar just breaks right out of it. Yeah, like that was his Q. Yeah. Does quite a bit of damage. Clearing out some wards still. With Run It down mid, he must have teleported bot to try and engage in a fight, but realized there was nobody there when he got there. So kind of an awkward teleport. You might see him just try to push this tower pretty hard.
Yep.
Since all three of them are here. Looks like Run It down mid's going to be backing though. Realizes there's nothing here for him.
Insane. I'm taking a lot of damage, but DRXP does he is aware of that engage coming in and is there to support Insanum.
This is still not a very good engagement for UJ, and
might lose his life. It looks like he will.
Yeah, Jin picks up that kill, which is pretty big because he'd been down for quite a while. So not a great engage there by UJ. Good on the side of Kansas as they caught out Insanium and ended up picking off DRXP, who is starting to get a little bit fed. So probably a good thing for them. However, just something UJ has to keep in mind is, where they're positioned and to make sure that they're taking favorable fights. Big stun coming out from their Irelia up and top. This Urgot, however, is starting to do quite a bit of damage.
A lot of damage.
And Urgot does have the range advantage in this fight, so it makes it a little easier for Urgot to be poking than... Good movement. He's really chasing this kill with that shield he gets. It's like running down mid will safely back to under his tower. However,
safely maybe.
Yeah, well, looks like Urgot gave up. Urgot gave up. Still at a point where Urgot kind of wants to push this fight, though, to be honest. Well, now he doesn't. Once you get under tower, you don't want to. Once you, or when you still had a little bit of that minion wave, it wouldn't have been the worst thing. It looks like he's building. No, I'm not quite sure what our Aurelia is building, but he's regaining a lot of health pretty quick. So I thought he was gonna be building a Warmongers, but it doesn't look like that. Not quite sure.
What is Urgot?
A spidery boy.
Well, but
thing. A good dodge coming out from Too Spoiled on that charm. He definitely would have been dead there.
Is he actually the spider though, or is it like a mechanical suit?
I'm not sure. I have no idea.
At least the skin that he has on makes it look like it's mechanical.
I want to say it's more of like a mechanical suit. Like he lost his legs and that's what they rebuilt him, kind of thing. But I couldn't actually tell you.
A disabled Doc Ock, if you will.
Yeah, kind of. Oh, a big TP coming in here from Kansas, and he
Red Team
gets the kill.
Does get dragged.
This is a pretty big engagement. It looks like Numu will go down as well. And Ari kills the Orianna here. UJ really needs to get out of this. Insanium and Ezreal will both go down, and Run It Down mid is the only one left alive for UJ, and they are going to have to be very careful right now. In fact, with that fight, Kansas has now taken back the gold lead.
Yeah, I think DRXP just got a little too confident in that engage because he was real inside all the enemies at one time.
Yeah, and one thing to note is that Run It Down mid did not have his ult for that big fight because he'd used it in the top lane. So if they had that Irelia ult, they may have had the damage and the slow to actually keep people pinned down. But since it was already used, it was almost free for them.
Yep, Kansas is going to get Baron too, so it's going to be one drag for each team.
This isn't Baron's Philly Goose.
It's the wait, I got the word. It's
Shelly boy.
It's the thing that headbutts towers when you call it in. It's that thing.
It's Shelly boy.
What's it called?
CJ kind of playing on the defensive here. Hopefully they're gonna farm up and look for this next team fight. Urgot backing will be pretty... Wow, he actually wants to take that. Interesting. Just gonna push this tower, or push these minions in this tower in as much as they can. I'll start clearing out the vision. Doing what good cowboy does. And Kane is going to attempt his best to do damage, but he has a 2-level deficit.
Yeah, he's doing very little right now.
I understand you don't want him on the tower, but is it worth risking your life for that? DRXP coming in yet again. Israel does hit the damage amplifier onto Ari. Almost gets the hook onto Ari. Ari rotated down, found nothing there, and looks like is probably headed back to mid lane. However, Urgot does get first, no, well, technically second turret, but it's a top lane turret there, which isn't great for UJ, but first turrets aren't as big of a deal as second turrets. Both teams have one dragon here. And I think that's probably going to be the next big fight we see, unless DRXP catches the Alistar out here. Oh, it's going to totally swap up and go after this Jhin. Big ult coming out. That's a lot of stun. And yeah, this bot lane's in a lot of trouble here. That's going to be a 2-0. DRXP with a great engage there, waiting in that bush.
That's free shove, free damage on tower, 2 kills. That's a really big deal.
That is a very big deal. Run it down mid is in a little bit of danger here as he's in a 2v1. He can take the Kane, but that Urgot's getting quite big now.
Yeah.
The ult comes in. It is a 2v2, but Ari's here as well, and didn't even get any of them, so that's unfortunate. It's Orianna and Run It Down mid do fall. Not what you want to see if you're UJ. Luckily, the Ezreal should get this bottom turret here. That'll help quite a bit. Oh, what a... He had vision. As long as he can secure this final kill without Ari interrupting, that'd be huge. But it looks like Kane will escape. Rift Herald.
Rift Herald.
Yes,
thank you.
You are correct. It is Rift Herald.
I appreciate you.
Or Shelly.
Yes, or Shelly. Yes. It's the like crab that headbutts towers. That's just
crabby boy.
It really kind of just be large crabby boy though.
Dragon is now up, so looks like Kansas is going to be setting up for the dragon here. They're in fairly good position if they've cleared out quite a bit of the vision. And with 4 people here,
it looks like it's going.
You might see UJ just give this, but it does look like UJ does have a couple players coming in. And yeah, red team is slaying that.
And DRXP. Oh, DRXP doesn't
gets
die.
out from the Thresh. Very good play there between DRXP and Thresh.
Thresh can hook teammates?
And Run It Down mid will get that top turret, which is very good as it'll equalize that turret or the top push.
I did not know Thresh can hook teammates.
It's not a hook, it's a different ability. It's like he essentially has this lantern too. And like the lantern.
Oh, right, and you can recall teammates. Yeah, I knew that.
Run It Down mid is in a lot of trouble from this Urgot. This Urgot's getting quite large.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of damage very quickly.
He won that first 1v1, but he's got to be a little careful up in that top lane now. He can do pretty good damage, but that Urgot just has so much life. Or so much HP life. Kind of the same thing.
Same thing.
Kane will take the blue. Looks like Alistar will come up and start farming with Ari. Make their way down for a possible gank here on the bot lane on the Ezreal. So hopefully that our Ezreal knows that something's up here, especially as Jin proceeds to go back. And that turret should give it away right there that something was going on.
Yes.
DXP will take red.
Just getting whacked by Mr. Animate Tree.
Mr. Red Tree.
Red Tree. That angry tree.
Anger Tree.
Tree of Anger. It's the opposite of the Tree of Life. Well, I guess it's also kind of the Tree of Life because it gives you more HP and stuff.
Yeah, it kind of is.
It's kind
so
of
the CS is actually pretty equal between this top lane matchup here, but the kill differential is quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's really irritating that the Orianna is not on the
Yes,
same level as Ari.
I agree. I agree.
But our
entirely.
mid lane CS is winning by quite a bit, and however, the ADC Jin has quite a bit more than our Ezreal. It just doesn't really seem like that because Jin kind of keeps dying pretty early in these fights.
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably a good thing because we saw earlier how much damage he started to do. So we don't want to keep him alive for too long. Alistar's caught out here. A good hook coming in, but it's kind of hard to pull that big boy.
Mm-hmm. I would like to point out that Run It Down Mid did actually bait out one of Urgot's abilities too.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he dove in and baited out Urgot's, I don't know, rapid fire ability. I don't know what it's called.
This is a risky spot, yeah.
Yeah, that was.
And there's that Jin CS
debatable.
difference that's coming in. That was a lot of damage coming out there. Urgot can just take this tower, and that is not a good look.
Yep.
Yeah, UJ's got to play a little bit more safe here. The turret at 1 HP is not going to protect you very much. Run it down mid, doing his best he can to stave off 3 champions in the mid lane, but it's going to be quite the task. Another good hook coming in. Might get a tower shot from the turret, but I don't think it's going to do much. He is a chunk. Actually, surprisingly, quite a bit of their team is pretty tanky. Like, the Alistar is going to be pretty tanky. The Urgot we see is very tanky.
Clearly, yeah, very, very tanky.
And the Jin takes quite a bit of damage, but, like, it's very focused. So, the Ahri, however, is going to die. A wonderful engagement from DRXB. Locks him down with the ult. Not a chance for that Ahri to escape.
That's a pretty big deal too, because it pushes basically all of Kansas back.
Yeah, that is a very big deal. UJ really needed that pick there to save their bottom tower, and to just kind of stop the bleeding for a minute. Because for a 10-10 game, and a less than 1K gold difference, you would think, wow, this game is super close. But at the moment, it is very much scaling in the side of Kansas State.
Mm-hmm. So
we need to slow as much as we can. Stall out to get into these good team fight positions and get in and engage and win team fights, which is 100% doable. As you see, Irelia has a lot of damage. She just can't die. And then also that Ezreal pumps damage, and Deer XP does a lot of damage. Like, the damage is there. It's all about taking these good engagements, and I would say the last 2 haven't been great for UJ.
The focus has been a little sloppy. The dives have been less than coordinated.
Big dragon coming in here. That'll be nice. It's the Cloud Drake, so they'll get their ults a little bit quicker here. See the flash come out from DRXB. He really wanted the Ahri, but I think he's kind of happy he didn't hit it now that he gets to mid lane and sees everyone. It's one of those plays where, like, you burn your flash thinking it's the right thing, and then you get to the top and you're like, oh my gosh, thank goodness I didn't hit it.
Yeah.
It's one of the times where missing your abilities, like, staves your life and possibly the game at that point. If DRXP goes down, it's going to be a lot of free push. Good.
Uh-oh.
A good find on this Alistar here, though, and I think Alistar's going to go down. I don't think there's a way for Alistar to live.
No, not in the least.
Especially not when 2 more UJ players collapse. Very well done by UJ here. can see Urgot's now even doing a bunch of damage to the towers. This is a kind of rough spot. I think the wind condition might be killing this Urgot.
Yeah.
I don't know if the rest of Kansas's team will be all that effective. But this Urgot is doing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Good fight under tower here, though. He did get him to half health with the help of that tower. Almost gets the hook for another 1 or 2 tower shots, which would have been very nice.
Urgot just has so much health. Did you see
how this Ari comes and gets the charm, and I don't see Ezreal getting out. Yeah,
that was a really good stopwatch, but
Urgot's in a lot of trouble here though. Dear XP does have the damage to kill him, and will, and that's going to be big for UJ. Yes, they lose 2, but the Urgot being dead alone is going to be quite a big help.
Now the rest of UJ can back cover for their mid lane.
Yeah, they gotta play a little bit of defense here. Oof. Run it down mid, getting hit by that charm there is not very good for UJ. You don't like to see that. The inhib is the only thing left in mid lane. Looks like Kansas State has to back off though, as now that DRXP and Orianna are there. There's just too much CC to really fight that. Gonna go back through the jungle, clear out some stuff, and probably back for items. I just love the way Alistar attacks. It's so funny. He's just ogre arm swinging.
Yeah, he's just smacking things. Like you have interdimensional like amalgamations, and then you just have this large bull man that's smacking things. That's a lot of damage.
Jin picks up the blue buff. That'll be pretty good for Jin, as he can now almost free cast abilities without having to worry about mana. Kayn picks up a red buff, which is also pretty good for Kayn. It does look like he went blue Kayn. Which means quite a bit of damage coming out of the Kayn as well. Well, towards the end of the game. As we saw in the beginning, he did nothing. But
this is Baron. This is the Baron.
Here comes Baron, yep. And I don't think EJ can really stop it right now. However, Urgot is by himself, but I don't think they know that. So this might not be a bad fight to engage if they all get there now, but it doesn't look like they won't be
getting there.
Yeah. It does come out with a big ult here, however. Alistar should go. Oh, great headbutt coming out from Alistar.
Yep.
Will keep him alive. Ezreal almost finishes him, but it's just not enough. And, Kansas gets the Baron there. Hopefully, DRXP can get out. I think he did. But, yeah, that, I think it was a little bit eager on the side of UJ and run it down mid. I kind of think he wishes he had that play back. I think most of UJ knew that's what was going on, but at the same time, there just wasn't enough team help there.
Yep.
You see the Irelia has the damage, though, essentially a 4v1 and almost 100 to 0 is the Alistar. So, it's not a matter of damage. It's just taking these fights at the right time.
UJ needs to coordinate properly.
Yeah, it's this game is still 100% winnable. It's just all about timing, and this could be quite bad. Ezreal does get out of there, which is a very good play by him, as that looked scary for a moment.
Quite scary.
And see, they have the Baron buff here. I would almost give this Drake up unless you could somehow drag it.
This is real ambitious.
Yeah,
I get it.
UJ almost has to come up with kills here, otherwise this is not going to look very good.
It's looking...
Losing 2 is not the way you really want to see it.
No.
UJ has to play defensive for these next probably 2 or 3 minutes if they want to stay in this game and keep this one going.
Yeah, if you're diving in like that, 2v4, 2v5, and you're not getting kills, and you're not getting drag, and you're dying... That's not exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah, I actually greatly dislike attempting to steal the dragon
Yeah.
there. It's a Cloud Drake, which does benefit the other team when it comes to getting their ultimates, but they already have Baron. Why are you going to try to take a fight without Baron and when you're already down a player? It almost seems like a desperate play. And I don't feel like we were in the position to be making a desperate play. I think this was still winnable if you just defense up for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then slowly take back your jungle, and then you can take that fight for the Elder Drake. But because of that, yeah, but because of that, they're going to get a lot of free push here, and we still have to play defense. Big charm coming out from Ahri, and oh my gosh, Ahri melts Ezreal, and I don't know if you're going to be able to stop this. The death timers are getting up into the 40 seconds here. All 3 inhibitors are gone.
Just that's game.
As
much as I don't want to say it,
it would
wait. They're back.
They're gonna back. Yeah, they're gonna back up here. Which makes a lot of sense because you already got all 3 inhibs.
I guess.
You got all 3 inhibs. You just won Baron. You just won Dragon. Essentially, one more objective and you win the game.
That's fair.
Or one more team fight, you win the game. And you put UJ on the back foot where they have to play defense because you have these super minions coming in from all 3 lanes. So essentially, they can take next objective or force UJ to leave the base to super minions and fight next objective and most likely lose at the point they're at because they've had to sit and farm. So I actually think it's a really good back on the side of Kansas. You'd like to see it for the side of UJ, but there's always next map here. And they could still pull this one off, but there
would have to be some real incredible hero plays made by the entire team.
Yeah, the longer this game goes on at the moment, the less likely, well, actually the more likely it is we win, but the less likely it is that we take team fights because it's going to be, you're in one fight territory right now, and it doesn't even need to be a complete fight. It just needs to be 1 or 2 champions dead.
Yep.
Like if DRXP goes down, I don't see this game continuing at all. If Run It Down Mid goes down, it's over.
That's game.
There's pretty much if any 1 or 2 champions go down, you're not going to see another 5 minutes of this game. So Kansas did a really good job there with calling their backs after making sure they had all 3 of those inhibs. And now they just get free control of the entire jungle to take whatever and anything they want. So now you see them and they're all gathered up. They're essentially just playing for the team fight. They hope somebody wanders into them.
Because like you said, they get that one pick.
Yeah. And
then they engage and they win.
Yep. And they know that UJ has to be right around their base or in their base because with the super minions pushing in, you can't move. UJ's doing the right thing here, which you love to see, and sitting here and farming up. However, they do know that Baron will be coming up here soon, and that's going to put him in a tough spot. This is the moment where they decide, do we just give Baron and commit to defense for the next 6 minutes? Even though they have Baron buff and super minions? Or are we going to try and test this? And at the moment, it looks like they just are opting for the defensive play, which I think is the correct play.
Yeah, it sucks to give Baron like that.
Yeah,
but they can't take the fight. They die. And if they die, they lose.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Clicky. And, Baron gets melted uncontested, which isn't a huge surprise. Now it'll be interesting to see, however, if they offer to take the Cloud Drake. Because after this, you'll have, the 4 Drake bonus for the side of Kansas, and UJ can't do anything about it. There's no point in fighting it, as you see how fast it's dying. Even trying to steal it is a possible death sentence. Yep. So, Kansas has honestly played objectives really well.
Yep.
Their beginning team fights weren't impressive. But
their objective play was really nice.
A couple mistakes, and then capitalizing those mistakes with objective play has really kind of set them up for this game. So now you see they're pushing in quite hard here, and UJ has no choice but to back. The minions with the Baron buff aren't going to die quite as fast. The champions with the Baron buff do more damage and won't die quite as fast. These inner towers are taking so much, and the champions haven't even gotten on them yet. Big defensive stand coming out here from UJ. The engage onto the Jhin from Run It Down mid, but he's by himself, and that's a rough spot. A big stun from Deer XP, though. But they just don't have the damage to capitalize here, and the Jhin ult will come out, and this is 100% game one Kansas.
Towards the end, UJ was just trying to make some hero plays, and most of the time, that's very wrong, and you're hard throwing. But in the situation that they were in, they needed those miracles to happen, and they just didn't happen.
That last engage there from Run It Down mid onto the Jhin was, in my opinion, 100% the correct play. Like you have to get a kill there, otherwise it's over. It doesn't matter.
Even if he did get the kill there,
there's a good chance you still get that kill and you still lose the team fight just because of Baron buff and Cloud Drake and all the minions. So like. It was a rough spot for UJ to be in going into those last probably 15 minutes of the game, just because there were a couple misplays right towards the end of that mid going into late game that really cost them. Looks like we have a game lobby full. Hopefully we can find our way in here. Hopefully we can find our way in to cast this second match. I think after playing this first game, though, UJ will look back and kind of realize some of those positioning mistakes, and hopefully they'll clean it up a little bit. They understand what the other team's looking at doing. And in fact, although Urgot was big, I don't even think he was like the main issue. I think it was literally just positioning issues that were coming into play.
I mean, I would argue that the Urgot was definitely an issue.
Oh, no, he was an issue. But, like, I'm not going to say he was, like, hard carrying the game.
Yeah.
But, he did his job as Urgot, and doing his job was more than enough. So it kind of puts UJ at a rough spot here. Essentially going on to match point in map 2. If the Wildcats win, that's the series for tonight. If UJ wins, we get one more map to, see who comes out with the victory here. It should be an interesting second game. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple bans come out. Like, I think the Ahri might get banned here, just because that charm cost us quite a few fights.
I would argue that the charms were what won them the game, because they got those free picks.
Yeah, and the 2 or 3 picks there, especially towards the end, off charms were quite large. But like, I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe even a Jhin ban. I'd assume you keep some of the same bans, obviously, as your last game. So like, we probably ban Aurelion Soul again, just because that's an annoying champ in mid. You or jungle. You ban quite a few of the same. I would be amazed if Kansas doesn't ban Udyr again. I really do. Possibly the Hecarim as well. The Anumu play looked really good though, and so that is a very big positive. Oh, we got it. Good. Literally looking at the screen.
Cool. We're in. We're gaming.
We are gaming.
Well, they're gaming. We're watching them game.
That's true.
We're like secondhand gaming.
We're backseat gaming.
Yeah. Kinda, yeah.
Well, we really are. I mean, we're saying all of our thoughts about their gameplay, so.
Well, I mean, we're not telling them though. It's like way backseat,
Okay,
it's like those big vans that have like 4 or 5 rows of seats. It's like all the way in the back gaming.
Listen, I call the window seat.
It's like nosebleed seats gaming, you know. But yeah, the individual play from UJ was for the most part pretty fine. We did see UJ overextend a few times.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was mostly just the fact that Kansas was playing to get that initial pick, and then taking a team fight instead of just headbutting their way into a team fight like UJ seemed to be doing. And yeah, I think Kansas team play was just better in general.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I really like what you said about how Kansas wasn't really looking for those fights. They were kind of just letting UJ come into them and then punishing UJ for coming into fights that UJ didn't need to take.
And oftentimes UJ was taking already unfavored fights, like for example the Baron fight, where there were two UJ players against the almost the entire Kansas team.
Yeah. And I think another really big fight here is comes at, I want to say, about the 10 or 12 minute mark when Run It Down Mid teleports bot lane. Nobody's there. And then they continue to push through the jungle and end up losing too because of it. It's like, if nobody's there, just you don't need to push things just because you used a summoner spell.
Yeah.
So like, that's one thing that I think UJ will, kind of realize some of their mistakes and be like, probably shouldn't engaged there. And now that they have hopefully seen that Kansas doesn't want to initiate those fights, they're more than happy to just play defensively until you come in.
Yeah, and they've shown they're quite good at it.
Yeah. I would really like to see UJ play almost their style, where now you've seen us diving in all the time. You have to initiate with us.
So on one hand, I agree. I think UJ needs to play more defensively. On the other hand, I think it's just so counter to multiple of our players' playstyles. Like Run It Down Mid, like Dear XP. Yeah. They really, really like getting up in their lane opponent's face.
That is
and
true.
Just winning those 1v1s, creating advantage for their team, instead of just letting the other team come to them. So I don't think they can't do it. I'm saying it might be hard.
Yeah, I think what I really want to see this game out of the Jimmies is, for the first 10 minutes of the game, you play aggro. You look for those kills.
Yes.
You go hard. But the moment that 10-minute marker hits, or whenever the other team gets that first item fully complete, you're almost instantly defensive. You're not looking to fight anymore.
Okay, now they have the potential to get free picks if we overextend.
Yeah.
Let's just not give them the opportunity to overextend at all.
Yeah. We even last game, you saw a lot of really good early engagements right up until about that 12-minute mark, and then you saw 3 or 4 really bad engagements all in a row, and you're like, oh, whoa, slow down, hold on. So yeah, I agree. I think that for the sake of the player's play style and mechanical skill, looking for picks in those first 10 minutes is probably a really good way to play it. But yeah, definitely slowing it down a little bit towards that mid game, I think would very much benefit UJ.
Yep. One thing I will give UJ is their early game is usually really, really good. I don't know if I've ever seen UJ lose an early game, ever, in any lane, ever. But once kills can start happening, in the blink of an eye, that's kind of when UJ often starts to falter, just because that overextension can happen and UJ falls prey to that. I think more often than we'd like to see.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's at a certain point going for those picks, even though they look good.
Oh, they're real flashy. Put it in the clip toss. I just obliterated this dude. But
you got to get to that point where you're like, now I'm actually almost throwing.
Well, yeah,
In some cases, you are.
Yeah, even if you're trading, oftentimes you're still throwing.
Yeah, and like, I really like how you stated that. Even if you're trading, you're sometimes throwing. If you're trading your life as, you know, the Fed jungler, the Fed EDC for the squishy, you know, support or the squishy jungler, it doesn't matter. You're the one who's fed, not him. So yeah, I really like what you're saying about that as well. Now we're gonna finally get into this draft. So banning 2 on each side first. Looks like Kansas State will get the first ban, and the Anumu comes in.
Understandable.
They are tired of that stun.
Here, I'll swap it back so they can watch too. We're very pretty, but the game looks pretty cool too.
We ban the Gnar. Interesting is Run It Down Mid does like to play the Gnar sometimes. Oh, but they come out with a top lane ban of themselves with the Alawi. UJ goes with that Aurelion Soul. Same bans as last game so far. And
is Aurelion like playable now?
Oh yeah. And then Hecarim comes out for Kansas State, kind of banning out the jungler right now. Samara comes out for UJ, still same bans as last time. Garen in the top lane, possibly jungle, and against the Camille. There it is.
We like to see Camille. We like to see Run It Down Mid on that Camille.
Rammus. I know one of our very good friends will be very happy to see a Rammus if he's here.
Isn't Rammus bad right now? I thought Rammus was bad right now. I mean, not saying DRXP can't play him. I'm just saying
it's a very niche pick.
Okay, because I know DRXP is pretty good on the Rammus. I'm just saying, I remember seeing that Rammus isn't great right now.
Looks like UJ will pick up the Ahri this time instead of Kansas. Well, Kansas goes with the Zillion. Zillion will probably be run support, is what I would guess. But
wait, why did they?
Wow.
What? Why?
They're hard banning out.
DRXP already.
I don't think they know that.
But they banned but our jungler picked, and then they banned a jungler.
I'm not completely sure. Maybe they think this is like a Rammus support, which would be extremely weird. But
yeah, now that the Glockodile picked Ezreal, I think they understand. Oh, we just wasted a ban.
Yeah, okay. I'm not quite sure. I expected the Udyr to be earlier.
Maybe they just had like preset bans, and they just went with it.
There is a chance. So Jhin Thresh. So it looks like we are going to swap our Thresh support for probably this Morgana or Lux. As Insanium does play both of those pretty decently. You might see a Rakan. No, gonna go with the Morgana. Pretty good choice overall. I really like that kind of defensive style of play against the Jhin, where that black shield is gonna essentially negate his Q almost entirely throughout the game as long as it's timed right. We're not very tanky though, which does kind of leave some questions in the air for UJ. Like the Rammus obviously can go tank and most likely will go tank. But like Camille, that leaves Camille in kind of a weird spot because like, does Run It Down Mid take it the tanky way, or does he just go full damage and they're just looking to explode people?
I think based on last game, he should go the tanky route. That being said, he really likes just exploding people.
Yeah, it's a really interesting way to look at it because you either have Garen or Volibear in top lane, which is almost certainly Garen. I'd be very surprised if it was Volibear, but the Garen versus Camille matchup is in favor, in my opinion, of the Camille just because of the movement. But like Garen can do quite a bit of damage too.
Yes, Garen is scary right now.
It'll be an interesting top lane matchup, and I think this will be even more interesting than last game. Now the Volibear Rammus is going to be fun to watch as well because like Rammus doesn't have necessarily a whole ton of damage, but like just his utility and knocking people up in the air and stunning them and stuff is a lot, and DRXP likes stunning and getting all these stuns, and he plays a lot of stun heavy characters.
Yes.
Where the volley bear is either gonna go like hard tank or hard damage. Like that's it.
And it seems like just based on how Kansas was playing last game, he's going to be hard tank.
Yeah,
he's going to be very hard tanking.
I would assume that it's gonna be quite a bit of hard tank. You might see Garen build a little bit more offensively because Volibear is probably going to go hard tank.
Yes, I would agree.
This Zillion will go... Now, Zillion's a really interesting champion. He will definitely go damage, but at the same time, his ult literally brings people back to life if he times it correctly.
Oh, cool.
So, like, you may see some very aggressive engages with Garen and Zillion.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I think, is a very interesting pick for mid lane. Kind of surprised to see him not running the support, but like when you're running that, kind of double support, like you kind of have a lot of utility going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess you could, run RE support, but we're not going to.
No.
There's no reason to. I do like the Morgana over the Thresh. I am not a huge fan of the Jhin Thresh combo, to be honest with you. I understand why it's good. You pull him in, and Jhin has that massive range, so like he's kind of stuck. But I'm not a huge fan of it. Where the Morgana and the Ezreal, they both have pretty similar ranges, but like Morgana stun is massive, especially when he maxes it. It's like a 4-second stun. You're just stuck there.
Yeah.
And then saw the Ezreal last game. It wasn't too bad. It looked pretty good actually.
No, yeah. I remember one instance where the play was a little questionable, where he was like 1 HP.
Where he 1v1s the Jhin. Is that the one you're talking about?
It was that.
Yeah, that was the one thing that I would have agreed with as well. That was like, I don't know about that.
Definitely
one,
a little questionable, but it happens.
Yeah, I'm not against it because from the vision that they had, it was literally a 1v1. Like it was 100% just them, right up until the very, very end.
Yeah.
So I don't hate the play, but I don't necessarily like it. Mm-hmm. What is that? That Volibear skin is sweet.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's like a demon bear.
Switch it to red.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna spectate them.
Well, it was on all.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it just starts off on all.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the run it down mid builds. I think everything else is pretty standard.
Yeah, I think the rest is pretty standard. I would agree with you.
I think both logics or both trains of thought are pretty fair for which way he wants to build. Like, you don't need to tank if they're dead, but you don't need to do damage if you never die.
That's true.
So,
and the thing is Camille has pretty good damage output even when building tank.
That's fair.
It's just it's gonna be longer to kill.
Yeah, it's less explosive.
Yeah.
You're not just deleting people in a team fight.
Yeah. I think it is gonna be interesting to watch which way he builds it down here. I really want to see this Rammus do great things. I really do.
It's a really cool Rammus skin.
It is. Rammus is such a fun character to watch and to play. You just roll around the map the entire time and end up killing stuff.
He's just fun to watch.
Yes,
he's just and then things die sometimes.
Sometimes. Looks like Volibear will start off on red. Does get the leash, not a big surprise there. Rammus looks like he will be starting off at wolves and probably going red after that. Or not wolves, birds.
The worst animal.
The worst.
Man, I hate birds. Don't get me started on birds.
Yeah, the University of Jamestown is in Jamestown, North Dakota. Yeah. We're in between Fargo and Bismarck.
What, like 15,000 people? Something like that?
Yep.
12,000 people? 16.
Right, yeah. About 16,000, as Ark said. Oh, that was a lot of damage onto that Ezreal coming out of that gen. The Camille does get this early damage as well. Kind of back to your traditional League of Legends first 3 minutes of the game where not a whole ton of action happens except for kind of poking each other out and trying to farm.
Because there's not that explosive damage yet. There's not all these abilities. Oh, that was a good stun from Cat.
I think part of it is that you're kind of waiting on your junglers.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're not going to do very much, 2v2 engages or 1v1 engages unless, like, you're Camille and you can dash off the wall and stuff like that. But
Apex Legends wall jumping.
It's like right here, you see. Is he running Hex Flash on the... No, he is not. Okay, I was like, what a weird thing for the jungler to run. But he's running Flash and Smite like a normal jungler would. Kind of see top lane getting pushed in just a little bit. Not the big deal as normally top or bot lane swings quite a bit as they go back and forth and buy items. Camille playing very passively here. Sees the Volibear who is clearing out the ward. Rammus does hit a nice... and the charm comes in and Zillion will go down. And Ahri picks up that first kill in mid lane. A wonderful combo from Rammus and Ahri there for UJ. And a pretty early first kill. That's 2 games in a row. The first kill has come earlier than we've expected. And both off the back of UJ jungle play. Big stun coming out. However, Garen will pop Q, or maybe W, one of his abilities to make him run fast. But in comes the Rammus again, and he gets the stun.
Is it free?
This is a lot of damage.
It's so free.
Oh,
it's so free.
This Garen will not be getting out of here as Camille... Wait. Okay,
so free.
I was going to say,
so
Camille
free.
better finish that. And this Rammus has made two lane ganks in the matter of less than a minute, and both have resulted in kills. That's what you'd love to see if you're UJ, and especially running the Rammus. Ooh, a big black shield comes out, probably saving Ezreal's life there, as he does, out of position, get hooked.
Ooh, excuse me.
We kind of said as before that that black shield was going to be quite a determiner, and when it comes to some of these plays in the bottom, especially running against that Jhin. So good shield coming out of there from UJ's support. Definitely saves Ezreal's life and allows him to stay in lane and farm.
That's a cool skin.
Yeah, the Zillion skin. Actually, the Ahri skin's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Honestly, the skins in this game, almost all of them are pretty
boggers.
Pretty nice.
Uh-oh.
Garen does come in, but he gets chunked right before he hits that W. Loses about 15% of his HP, and again.
My. That was so much damage.
The Camille damage is really putting in some work right now in that top lane. I wouldn't be surprised to see if Volley makes his way up, but it looks like Volley will be on the bottom right now, and they do find DRXP, but now they know, and DRXP is just going to burrow right on out of there, which is 100% the correct play, and now gives information to the bot lane and mid lane that Volley is bottom side.
Yeah. It looked real sketchy for DRXP for a second, but he immediately understood. I'm going to die. I need to leave now. And then he left.
Yeah, it was a very, very well played. I think the biggest thing is that I don't think Volibear knew he was there.
No.
Kind of a safe black shield, even though there wasn't too much of a threat here. Camille does force the back out of the Garen, which will be very good. I mean, she can push this wave under tower by the time Garen's back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just free XP that the Garen will be losing. See our Ezreal's mana getting pretty low along with our Morgana here, where the other side does have a lot. That was a lot of damage coming out from that Morgana Q. Holy cow.
I like that UJ is just playing a little bit more passively this game for the most part. In top lane, run it down mid, still being a little aggressive.
But, this is not looking good, though. It has to use Flash to get out of there, but will escape. Yeah. So, we'll take it. They have to back here, however, as there's no mana and almost no health. Yeah. Not the worst thing in the world, though, however, as Thresh is also 1 HP, and he will have to back as he's kind of scared of this Rammus coming down, but Rammus is in top lane, will get the stun off, but Garen should be able to escape. Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Jhin interrupts the back from Insane.
Why didn't he just recall earlier?
He was recalling. He must have gotten interrupted, or Jhin shot something, that would have hit him.
Okay.
And then shot one that did hit him. So kind of an unfortunate break there. Luckily, death timers are not too long right now, so he'll be back in the fight pretty quick, and it's not the worst kill in the world. You don't lose a whole ton, as you want most of that gold going to your ADC anyways.
Yeah, we can show the items that the teams are running a little bit later.
I can show them right now.
Yeah.
But none of the items are really fully built right now. You got the Sunfire Aegis on Rammus, so it looks like he'll be going like Sunplate Armor or whatever the heck it's called. I don't actually remember. Looks like Ahri most likely will build Void Staff. Probably a good choice against Zillion. I'll give her that extra damage and magic penetration. See quite an engage here, but on a Camille, sketchy. You're not going to get much done as she'll just hop right away. UJ will take that advantage and engage on Dragon. Should get it for free by the time that Kansas gets down here. Yeah. Kansas played for the pick where UJ actually played the objective here, and I yet again really like the play.
That's really good for UJ. Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, last game UJ also got first drag.
They did.
But as long as UJ keeps up what they're doing instead of getting overly aggressive, this is a good trend. I like what they're doing.
I completely agree with you. Big charm coming out there from Ahri, but for some reason the Thresh didn't move. I don't really know why that was. Big stun coming in. Won't get the turret shots to help, but does chunk Garen. So this Camille definitely has the damage advantage when it comes to this top. Where is Ezreal at? Oh, there he is. Bot lane just kind of farming out. Jhin does have a level advantage, but it's not by a whole ton, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. EXP clearing out some of the wards there. Now that Dragon's down, it's kind of a stalemate where you're just kind of looking for kills, but you don't really want to initiate the kills unless you're going to be the jungler. However, Run It Down mid, I don't think knows that Volibear is there, but he should be okay to get out. And he will get out. DXP taking blue buff there. He'll have blue and red for the next couple minutes. Pretty good news for us is that means Volibear will not be able to get the blue. Garrett does kind of start chunking when he gets hit with the Q. They're both kind of damage built right now.
Yeah.
I still think I take Camille in that, though, because Camille does have a little bit of that stun. So I think that might make the difference. Big hook coming out. You want to see that black shield here soon. No black shield comes in, however. But Run It Down mid does use his TP to get down here. And so now Camille is in the fight in bottom lane. A nice root coming out there from Insane. And
it should be 2 kills coming from UJ.
Run It Down mid will ult. the bot lane doesn't secure the kill, and Garen TP's down as well and finishes off our Ezreal. Hopefully Morgana can make it out here. Garen will pop ult, and that is not... Yeah, I mean, it's a good TP down from the Garen.
Yes.
But it is a overall not great fight for UJ as we lost 3 there.
It seems to start mirroring last game where it all started with a bad TP. So maybe we can realize that.
I don't think that was necessarily a bad TP.
Well, it wasn't
I think we stayed a little longer than we should have. We got the first kill, and I think at that point we need to turn around because you have the kill. I understand that the Thresh was 1 HP, but I don't know if it's worth chasing it if you know that, like, you don't know where Volibear's at and you didn't know where the mid lane was. So I don't know if it's worth chasing that, even though, yes, it is another kill. Looks like Camille building Triforce is what I would assume. Jhin hits a nice stun, but won't be able to capitalize on it. Camille lays down a good ward there. Instantly sees that their Thresh is now up in top lane looking for a free hook. Even with that engage, though, it wasn't the worst because they did get the 1 kill out of it. And they got a couple turret platings here. Looks like Zilean... Well, I thought he was going to pick up the mid lane, but it doesn't look like it actually got it, so... No harm done in the mid lane.
We just do Rammus.
Rammus is running for his life. Big. You know, these fights, like, are so repetitive in the top lane, and they regain their health so fast in the top lane that it's almost like counterintuitive on why they're even fighting each other.
Yeah, kind of.
They're like, I'm gonna knock you to half HP, and then the Camille goes, I'm gonna knock you to half HP, and then they both back up.
It looks like
yeah, Kansas should get this dragon.
Yeah, and hopefully they do it uncontested for UJ's sake, because UJ can get caught out and die.
Good black shield comes out there.
Yeah, get caught out and die.
Too much damage, yeah. Now that Ezreal's in quite a bit of trouble too.
Yep.
The 4v1, and I'm sure they'll tower dive this.
Yep.
And the Volibear is going to ult and tank that tower shot so the rest of his team gets out. And yeah, kind of a engagement like last game. You don't really want to see that right now.
Nope.
And yet again, it's about this 14-minute mark, 15-minute mark where the engagements kind of just look sloppy and not exactly, you know, we're obviously not sure what's going on in their comms, but you kind of hope that they're like, let's stop taking engagements like this.
Yeah. And one thing I will say about UJ's league team is there's a lot of new faces.
There are.
So they've only been practicing together for, you know, a few weeks. And so they haven't really developed those team dynamics that a lot of other more that a lot of other teams that have spent more time together would have, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I don't think that's necessarily an excuse for what's going on.
Yeah, and Run Down Mid finds himself in a very bad position right here. 3v1, almost certainly will die, and does not have damage to really do anything there.
Nope.
Now you kind of start worrying about the Rammus pick, as you haven't seen Rammus gank a lane in quite a while, which means, yes, he's been, you know, doing his job in the jungle and farming, but at the same time, you've seen Volibear gank, I think, 3 times in a row now successfully, so you got to start worrying a little bit if the Rammus is either falling behind or if he's just not rotating, you know, the correct way. Rent down mid will come in, but top tower is going to go down. Pretty good damage coming out on the Garen. I think he was going to try and take this fight. He does not know that Thresh is here unless it was called out.
Even without the Thresh being there, I don't think he can take that fight.
Yeah, I think it was good he backed up when he did. That's for sure.
Insanum getting a little aggressive.
And Zillion just giving a full chunk of XP to that Garen there. As Zillion has an ability that he can channel like his current level XP or something like that into another champion. Zillion's a very interesting character all around. Mm-hmm.
Especially when you have that sort of carry character that Garen is.
Yeah.
You know, if you feed Garen, if Garen gets fed and you feed him more, he just starts 1v5ing.
Yeah, not something UJ really wants to see here. No. Volibear's going to take this red buff, making him even more tanky.
You just pop ult for that?
No, that wasn't ult.
Oh.
That's one of his abilities, like lightning strikes the whole area.
Okay.
But his ult looks almost exactly the same.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The only difference is that like Volley gets way bigger when he pops ult than his normal character model, which is already pretty big. But UJ down in the kills and in gold by about 3k and 4 kills and a tower. They kind of want to look to make something happen here, but they can't be too aggressive and pushing, and this is not a good look right now.
And that I don't think I can necessarily.
That's not on him. It's this is a rough place.
It's either a lack of communication or lack of vision.
Yeah, I think that's just lack of vision there. I mean, a good rotation down from the Zillion and the jungler. That's not completely on, on the ADC and the support, as, vision wards may not have even been up.
Yeah.
To place down. That's just a good rotate out of Kansas, really. That's not much more you can attribute that to. That was called out that they were, pushed up in lane, and
they saw their opportunity, and they got 2 free kills because of it.
Yeah, and they took it and made the most of it. See, the Ram is still farming here. Doesn't know about the Thresh, I don't think. But the Thresh is just going to place the ward and get out. So, Rammus will kill Gromp. Oh, Rammus will not kill Gromp. Rammus will go to Wolves. And blue team gets the dragon, or the second dragon of the game. Will make them quite a bit tankier for the next couple minutes. Starting to see some engages here. I don't know if... Oh, he's lanterned. So it should be okay, and that is a lot of damage coming out from that Jhin. And Zillion's ult does come out and reses the Thresh, which is not what you want to see for UJ, and that leaves our ADC all by his lonesome. Bully does take a turret shot and get awfully low. Oh, but the Zillion bomb that gets stuck to Ezreal will finish him off. And, this Zillion, it looks kind of in control of the game, which is kind of funny, but Zillion bomb does a lot of damage, and, with that support of giving the res and giving, XP to other players, the bomb's is only, main source of damage, so it's very interesting when, you start seeing Zillion pick up kill after kill with that bomb.
But, when you're able to plant it on them when they're overextended, and even though they can back, they're not, they're not going to be able to survive that bomb. You might as well utilize that. Just capitalize on their overextension.
I agree. You see here, Garen has picked up the Warmongers. Rammus yet again running that Sun Fairy Aegis. Ari went with the Everfrost, which I do like, but so did the Zillion. They both went with kind of control mid lane units, so the Everfrost freeze if they connect the ability with it. Jhin, pretty common Immortal Shield Bow. You almost always see Jhin run that. A lot of damage comes out of that. Thresh's item, I'm not completely sure what he has. However, UJ's Support does not have its first item complete yet, and we're 22 minutes into the game, so that has got to hurt a little bit. See a lot of jungle clearing out here. Good charm comes out. This should be quite a bit of damage. Good teleport, or should be a good teleport coming in as long as he can get here. Camille comes in, gets the stun. Thresh should not live here.
And Garen's here. Garen
not live, but Garen's gonna do a lot of damage.
Garen can die.
Garen can die. Oh, but with the volley coming in, the
that's a big ult though. UJ needs to back hard.
It was a good black spell shield, but like that is so much damage.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
And the Jhin ult comes out as well and almost picks up Run It Down mid, but good movement from him. However, that Garen and the Volibear combined is going to be a big issue coming into these next couple fights. Especially with the push of this middle turret in, and we don't even have a turret down.
Mm-hmm.
See, Volibear does get a little bit low, though. Kind of needs to back up. Oh, Ezreal almost gets the pick. And wait, this volley's going in.
Yeah, that was...
Oh, did he get rezzed? No?
Maybe he thought he was going to be rezzed?
Possibly. I think that would have had to have been the case, because I don't know why you would engage with that.
Yeah, that was... I mean... Probably the first mistake we've actually seen out of Kansas the entire series.
That was a very weird, like, fight in general.
Yeah.
So I think there had to have been some miscommunication there because you don't normally see a literally 1 HP Volibear start charging into the team.
I want these kills.
But our... UJ's support, or UJ's ADC will be very happy to shut down the Volibear and get all that money. For the price of 1 Q, which is like 37 mana.
And Roboponer, which is a very good name, by the way, did mention that the rotations are what's deciding the game, and I do think he's correct. Kansas has had some very good rotations, specifically to bot lane, just where they're able to pick up 1 or 2 free kills and force everything on UJ back. They get control of the other 2 lanes, get control of the jungle, get wards up, rotate down, get the free kills, reset.
Yeah, and I'd have to agree with you here. Well, agree with both of you here. That rotations are going to be the biggest difference. And this Garen is just hunting Camille right now. He knows that with that W, he has the damage.
Mm-hmm.
However, this Thresh is taking very weird fights as well.
Yeah.
This is the second time he's got caught in this bush and almost paid for it or died for it.
He does have to back, though, even though he didn't die.
He 100% will have to get out of there.
UJ definitely can capitalize on that.
Yeah.
I think Kansas is starting to get a little overconfident.
Yeah, that was 2 very sloppy plays right in a row. If Volibear gets this dragon, though, that will not be very good. And he does steal the dragon. They will get the kill on Zillion, but Zillion will res himself. I don't know if it was worth it as he gets shut down instantly.
Disappears, but
Jhin does pick up 2. I would assume probably 3 here.
She's had some really good skill shots this game.
Jhin picks up another one, and the Godlike's left out in the open, and he picks up the Quadra, and that hurts. Because the only person left is running down mid, and he's got to deal with the Garen in top lane.
What did you call our Ezreal?
The Glockodile.
Okay, I think I just misheard you.
Oh, oh man.
Well, no, like it wasn't bad. It was just it was just very different from the Glockodile. There's just some banger names. What a good name.
And we're gonna see top turret here fall, or top inhibitor fall, which
both top turret and top.
Well, yeah, both of them will fall. Not very good for UJ here, as that top lane will start spawning inhib super minions now in the next like 4 minutes. And you'll see that Kansas State is just going through the jungle. They have almost a 10k gold lead, almost 10 kill lead in kills. However, the Thresh is caught out yet again. If UJ can punish this Thresh for him, that would be very nice. The Glockodile does get the kill onto the Thresh, which is a big start. Garen runs in there, does get taunted into the turret, and the turret shot will hit quite a bit, but DXP goes down to the Zillion Bomb again. They just can't chip all the way through. Run It Down mid does want to get very aggressive here. I mean, it is a 4v4. It's not the worst thing in the world, and he has the mobility to do it. They got to be very careful, though, with where the Garen and the Volibear are.
UJ's in a very precarious spot right
And yeah, and Garen W.
Man.
Garen W. He hourglasses, or the Ari hourglasses, but I don't know if it's gonna matter. And Jin ult comes out. He will be able to escape that though, so that is good. Oh, but he steps in a trap, and now he's gonna be slowed.
You can see those, can't you?
I'm
pretty sure you can see those.
I have no idea. I can tell you, to be honest. And that looks like it should be a Baron coming up here for Kansas State. Vision was given from their own Jin, so UJ got a little bit of Vision help, letting them know that they're taking Baron.
It's just the ego.
Yeah, it was kind of toxic, yeah. But quick Baron, and they're all gonna back for most likely their items before they push. I'm gonna assume you can't see him if they're walking over him that often.
I guess. Yeah, that's true. Like how Junkrat traps are just invisible.
Dude, they are. The other day on King's Row, yeah. I literally jumped into one and was like, what?
I kind of do just feel invisible sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't matter because we'd won the fight, but I just like slowly like looked down and I'm like,
there's no way.
I was like, he died so fast that he had a Junkrat ? Good stun coming out there. Ooh, the Ezreal just out of reach. Or out of range. This is going to be a pretty hard push coming in. Volley pops the ult. And
can't blame him. He's doing a lot.
That is a lot of damage. Makes him super tanky. DXP is in quite a bit of trouble. Gets stunned. Yeah, Garen will pick up that double kill.
Oh my.
This Volley and Garen.
Insane.
They're doing so much work and they have so much support. A wonderful hook comes out from Kansas, but that is going to be a lot of damage. Two Spoil does use his hourglass, but it's not going to matter as Jin's hitting is hitting shots. Should be a team ace here, and that should wrap up the game with Kansas State winning 2-0.
Yep, they just finish here.
Yeah. I will say that game looked better than the first game. It's just that you definitely had two people get fed on the other team, and it was very evident. You kind of saw, again, at about that 15-minute mark, there were a couple of unfavorable fights that you still kind of just go in on, and you're like,
why are we taking these? You know?
Yeah. So some stuff to clean up for next week, but it wasn't the worst showing in the world.
The individual play, for the most part, pretty good. I don't think there were a whole lot of individual mistakes. There were a lot of team mistakes. I think there were some bad calls.
Yeah, and in fact, I think that might be one of the bigger things. Is I think that call-wise was more self-oriented than like team-oriented.
Yeah, like the taking 2v4s, or the overextensions by multiple people, sometimes in the same fight.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Individually, skill-wise, it wasn't bad showing at all.
No,
they had the mechanics to play, and it wasn't bad. Just some team stuff to clean up. They'll VOD review, I'm sure, and kind of see some of the stuff that they probably realized, wow, yeah, this, like, what were we doing? Like, why are we staying in this fight so long?
Not only VOD review and realize mistakes, but hopefully learn from mistakes.
Yep, and as you kind of said in the beginning of this game, a lot of these players have never actually played like a game with each other. They're just kind
of
not
a this kind of competitive
Yeah,
setting. They play like ranked together.
Yeah,
but
like Run It Down Mid and DRXP are the only two who are on the roster for tonight that are from last season.
Well, technically Crocodile was on the roster, but he never started.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. So starter wise, we
Yes.
have 3 new players.
Yeah.
And you know, for their first games, it wasn't awful. You know, you got some nerves still. And you have 2 of them who are playing multiple games, so kind of weird to balance
3 of them.
Well, okay, yes, 3 of them, but it's kind of weird to balance, you know, 2 games at once as you're trying to be good at both of them.
Yeah, it's that's a lot of time out of your day, and that's free time that you're spending doing it too. It's not just, you know, they're doing 2 hours of practice for both games every day, and then putting more time into those games outside of the 4 hours of practice. So yeah, it's just
we can pull up those damage charts for you.
Make sure to swap it back.
Oh,
hit the fade.
Yeah, damage charts. That Garen did so much damage. A lot. I'm amazed that Jin even got close.
Yeah,
it feels like Garen did so much damage that last game. And Ezreal actually put in a lot of damage too.
Yeah, that's a little surprising. I thought Camille would have more than that.
I thought Camille would be higher. But I'm not actually surprised by the Ezreal. I'm just surprised by how much he has.
Yeah.
But yeah, between the Garen and the Jhin, that was a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And Young Ion Overwatch is, well, it is a dead game, but you know, it's so fun. Speaking of Overwatch, we'll be playing tomorrow. So tune in at 6, I believe.
Yes, it's 6. And who's gonna be casting? Do you think?
Not me, but it will be our boy Clicky.
Oh, it's me,
Clicky
your boy.
On the mic.
Your boy,
the one and only Clicky.
Oh, it's me. I wonder who else we're gonna get to cast. I wonder who else I could rope into.
I mean, there's a couple ones I think you could.
I could pull Quincy. I could pull.
I think there's
Noah.
I think there's a few that rope into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the next game for you, Jay, is swapping on over to Overwatch tomorrow, 6 p.m. against Cornell. Second game of the season. We're pretty excited for it. Had a good VOD review today over our scrims, so hopefully we'll take that into tomorrow and make it work out. League will play next week on Wednesday as well.
Yep.
Not sure who they play, but you know, they'll have a chance to kind of look back and redeem themselves from a great first 15 minutes of both games.
Yeah. And then after that,
and then some questionable calls. But you know, if they can extend that 15 minutes the longer and longer, you know, they'll start looking good. And you know, I think it was a very promising showing. We got Valorant on Monday again. Our Valorant team, if you weren't here on Monday, was stomping. Literally stomping.
It was not to be disrespectful, but it wasn't close at all.
Possibly on Friday we'll see if we stream it or not, but definitely on Monday.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like Overwatch tomorrow will wrap it up. League is all wrapped up here for tonight. Not the result we really wanted, but you know, not the worst showing in the world, and
it's a good VOD to review.
Yeah, and there's a lot to be learned from this game, and you know, this is just the start of the season, so not too worried about it.
Can only go up from here.
Yeah, and as you said, this is a great VOD review to go over.
Because the individual play, like I said, quite good. The calls, that's what needs to be adjusted, and that's what gets adjusted through Team VOD review.
Yep, I completely agree with you there. But that's about all we have from League of Legends tonight. Thanks for tuning in with us. Catch us tomorrow at 6 for some Overwatch action. Possibly Friday. Just look for notifications. Hit that little bell. If not, we'll see you next Monday with a whole set of games again. You know, got to keep UJ rolling.
And one thing I would like to plug, before we end the stream.
Hit him with the plug.
Don't forget that you can subscribe. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can link your Amazon account to your Twitch account, and you get 1 free subscription each month. So we would be more than grateful if you guys would hit us with your Twitch Prime subs. If you don't have Twitch Prime, a subscription for the month is only $5. So if you would like to support us, like I said, we would be more than grateful for the support.
Yeah,
so
it would really help. It really helps us out. You know, it allows us to get new equipment and, you know, maintain our facility. Along with it could help eventually with promotional ads later on down the road, or even funding for possible land tournaments, as long as COVID doesn't ruin everything.
That'd be so cool too.
Would be amazing, as
you
land
get to see,
are awesome. As you'd get to see much longer streams of a variety of games, and, you know, all of us competing like on an actual stage and, you know, in front of people. So it'd be really good for you, Jay. So yeah, if you would feel willing to subscribe, we'd love to have you, and, you know, you'd get notified of all of our good games and stuff like that, and you'd always get to hear more of Clicky's magical voice.
Oh, it really is just great. It really is. Like, if it sounds this good to me, imagine how good it sounds to people that don't normally hear it.
All right. Well, now that we've ego boosted him, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you tomorrow night.
Yep. Have a good night, guys.